everyone, today I'm going to be talking about how to get a first class degree. Now personally I studied fashion design, but I think you can apply this to any degree really. Honestly, I really wanted it, and I'd say the first thing is that you've just got to really want it. If you don't want a first class or you don't care about your class, if you want to strive for the best, a lot of these tips do apply, you know? Not just about getting a first, but to get, you know, the best degree that you can possibly get from yourself, you know, because all the hard work does come from yourself. I think that these tips can be applied whether you want to go for a first class degree or, you know, you just want to get the best maximum potential out of your course and yourself, if that makes any sense. So the first thing is, especially for a first class degree, you really got to want it. You know, you have to have that mentality like, I want the best, I want to do the best, and I really want to put all of the hard work into this, and I'm going to, university is not fun. Sometimes it can be hell, it can be very stressful, it can be, it can be a real roller coaster, and you gotta really fight and be in there and just not give up through really good stuff, and of course the really not so good stuff, which can be essays and dissertations and just doing things that you in general might not like, with assignments and lectures and all that kind of stuff. So the first thing is you really gotta want it. The second thing is your tutors are there for a reason. A lot of people don't like talking to their tutors, don't want to be associated with their tutors, just find it really it brings you down sometimes when you talk to your tutors because they might have a completely different opinion. But I think it's just so important to grab your tutor at an opportunity when you need to speak to them, or at any opportunity to just ask them for feedback, for advice, for anything in general that you might have, especially questions, because at the end of the day they are marking your work, or they have a lot of power or say in that department, and you might clash with them, but it's important to understand what they have to say as well, because that can really push you forward. And I remember thinking, I really don't agree with you, I completely disagree, but they were right in the end, and that is probably one of the reasons. I listened to the feedback that they gave me, constructive feedback, and at the end of the day I did stand my ground on some certain things, but you gotta just try and understand where they're coming from sometimes as well. So it really is a balance with that. The other thing is stop procrastination and just try and live a good balance. Procrastination is like an enemy, but what you've got to ask yourself is, what do you want? In 5 years' time, is it going to be important that you watch that one film, or 5 films, or 10 films on Netflix that one night when you should have been really studying for an exam, or studying for what's more important, the fact that you get this degree and you can look back on it in 5 years and think to yourself, I'm so glad I worked solid throughout that and got the degree I wanted, or that you watch those films and you completely binge watch and then you didn't get the degree that you wanted, or you're disappointed and you would want to go back and do it all over again. So try and stop procrastination, try and understand why you're studying. University can have a lot of distractions, partying, all that kind of stuff, but just try and have a focus and try and balance everything that you can. Try and have a couple of social nights. It can be really difficult to socialize, but especially when you're at university. Like, I'm at home, so it's fine, but still socializing can be quite a tough thing. So try and just balance everything out. Make sure you have your assignments done and then go and enjoy, or try and do a little bit at a time, and make sure you do a little bit at a time, and then you're not just stuck indoors 3 nights in a row trying to write up an essay because you kind of haven't been prioritizing your time. The other one is attend every class and lecture if possible. Obviously if you get sick or ill or something like that, totally understandable, but try and attend as many classes as possible. There's nothing worse than skipping lectures and classes, and then when you're really seriously, desperately ill, your tutors just don't care, they're not bothered. They're like, oh well, she skips class all the time, I'm not interested. Be a genuine person, and then if you do get ill for 2-3 weeks, tutors will be there to help you and trying to create that right atmosphere, because I've seen it when people just skip classes all the time, and then when they genuinely skip, have to skip that class because of something has happened or they're not well, the tutors don't really care. So try and attend as much as possible, and on top of that you're learning a lot more because you're not missing those classes, so try not to skip. I know it can be really tempting, but try not to. Again, another thing that I think is so important is the people that you surround yourself with. Friends are great, but I think they have to be the right kind of friends. I made friends with this one girl, and she used to skip class all the time. She never used to try, she never used to really strive for anything. And in many ways I almost became a bit like her, because when you surround yourself with those people, you almost become like those people. And I think it's important to surround yourself with people that take you higher. And then towards like the second year of my degree and third year, I was surrounded by a group of people that were really striving for good things, and I felt good, and I felt like it made me do better as well. So try and just work really hard and be around positive people, people that really inspire you, people that are in many ways kind of a little bit like you. There's nothing worse than being around people that you just, you get along with, but they're just not the kind of people that you want to, motivation wise. But at the end of the day, you can be friends with whoever you like. Another tip is, when you're doing essays, dissertations and things that can be hell, try and pick topics that you like and that you will, you're passionate about. So when I studied fashion design, I tried to pick topics that I really enjoyed and that I loved talking about, because there's nothing worse than being stuck with a topic that you absolutely hate. Key thing is just try and find things that you like. If you hate a certain assignment or something like that, just remember, nothing lasts forever. Another thing that I think is very important is health. Just trying to keep yourself healthy, making sure you try not to get ill. A lot of people I know went to the gym, they ate healthy. I actually didn't eat very well, and I could totally feel it. Towards the end of my degree, I started eating really healthily, and I felt so good. I could wake up in the mornings, and before I used to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning and wake up at about 6 o'clock. In the morning, 5 hours of sleep, and I was so tired. I wouldn't have breakfast. I would go to uni, and then I would have like a snack there and then lunch, and it was just all junk food, and it didn't make me feel good. Towards the end of my degree, I started eating a lot healthier, I started exercising. It just felt good, and I felt like I could do more, and I just thought to myself, wow, if I'd started this from the beginning of my university course, I would have felt so much better. So I think trying to have that bit of a lifestyle, it can be, again, very difficult if you're at university and cooking and all that kind of stuff, cheap meals, are often the way to go, but just try, and what you put in your body is quite an important thing. Really important. Health and well-being. And also meditation if you get very stressed out very easily or very anxious. I think that's really important. I used to get anxiety all the time over the littlest things, and I just think, breathe, calm down. Remember, nothing lasts forever, especially with presentations and all that kind of stuff. Speaking about presentations, practice. Just practice as much as you can, and then when you have to do the real thing, hopefully it will be a lot easier than just going into that room and just thinking, oh my god, I really haven't done anything, I haven't practiced it, I just hope it goes well. So really practice. Again, I studied fashion, so for me, practicing sewing, practicing drawing, practicing how to make repeat patterns on the computer, all these things are very important for your discipline, whatever that practice is. Just keep practicing, and practice does hopefully make perfect or near perfect, or at least you tried. And finally, prioritize everything and just try and be consistent. This is the most important thing, is prioritize the most important things, but also be very consistent, especially with your assignments. So for my dissertation, I was just as consistent. I just put in as much hard work into that I did into a smaller presentation that wasn't worth as much. It's just all about being consistency and hitting the top marks, and that's really important. Don't just be like, oh, that presentation's only worth like 5 credits or something, and this dissertation's worth like 30 credits. Prioritize, put the same amount of hard work into every little thing or big thing that you do. It's just so important, and that is essentially how I think you can get the higher mark, is if you're consistent with everything and that you can multitask. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. I'm so happy with the result that I got. It was definitely not easy. You just have to be quite persistent, consistent, and you gotta want it. You gotta look at things very positively, and when things are going wrong, don't give up. I think that's the most important thing. So yeah, those are my little tips for getting a first class degree, or just in general striving to get the best that you can out of your course. So if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. And yeah, I will see you guys very, very soon.